Good morning, Pantsers. I had a bit of a computer scare over the weekend. All I could think was, how am I going to make a video if I have no computer? Because I realize that not having a computer, is a good excuse if you miss making a video, but I just feel like at this point, if I didn't make a video one Tuesday, you guys would all assume I was dead. The only thing I wanted to talk about from last week is, we were talking about guilty pleasures. I wasn't trying to say that guilty pleasures don't exist or that I don't understand being in a group with a very restricted idea of what's acceptable and sort of having to play along in order to fit into the group. I just kind of wanted to remark on how that has changed for me over the years, like how I've gone from being like really uncomfortable talking about things that I liked because I was afraid of being judged to a point where I'm just not willing to put in that much energy in like being anxious about that particular thing. And I don't mean to say that I don't care what people think of me in other areas. I still care what people think about me a lot more than I should in other areas, I think. But as usual, what happens when I make a video in the middle of the night is I always end up leaving things out, and then later on I watch the video and realize that I didn't have a complete thought and that my video makes a lot less sense than I thought it did, which is really, really frustrating. Not good at making videos. Zoe, I wanted to talk about your video game video, and I wish that I had something really interesting to say about it because I thought that your video was really interesting, but I have no way to approach it because I don't really play games. And I was thinking about this yesterday, I was trying to plan what I was going to say in my video today, and I realized not only do I not play video games, I don't really play games. I don't really play board games. And anything. I thought what you had to say was very interesting, and I wish I could contribute. So what I've been thinking about today, Maurice Sendak died, and it's been all over the internet today. You guys have probably seen, I would assume already. Everybody's talking about Where the Wild Things Are. I have never read Where the Wild Things Are. And I started thinking about this, and I realized that there are a lot of really famous children's books that are, that are classics that other people talk about all the time as being sort of pivotal books in their childhood that I never read. People talk about Goodnight Moon a lot, or Harold and the Purple Crayon. I hear all these books all the time, and they're books that I've never read. And I was trying to think why this is, and I realized that it's because I started reading so early. I don't remember at all. I don't remember learning to read. In a way, I kind of skipped over the sort of picture book phase. I read Dr. Seuss, and I was a big fan, and am a big fan of the Dory Witch books by Patricia Coombs, which nobody else seems to have read. But I missed out on reading a lot of famous children's books and picture books and that kind of thing. I feel like that sounds really braggy when I talk about having learned to read really early, I'm trying to say look how smart I am, but it's not that. In some ways I feel like I missed out on a whole section of the childhood reading experience that other people had because I don't have a lot of the same memories that other people have. I don't remember the process of learning to read. I don't remember the first book I read that didn't have pictures in it. I don't remember the first chapter book I read. I skipped over all of that. I don't have any of those memories, and although I'm glad that I learned to read early because I like reading so much, and I figure the more time I get to read the better, it's kind of strange when I realized that I apparently had a different reading experience than other people did. And that's something that I didn't realize until I was much older. I didn't realize that other people didn't learn to read necessarily that early. There's so many of these really famous children's books that I've never read. Someday I suppose I will get around to reading them, but it's not going to be quite the same experience, I don't think. On the other hand, I can think of books that I read as a kid that were hugely important to me, like Alice in Wonderland. I read for the first time when I was 6. I know I've talked about this on this channel before, and it was huge in my life. I mean, huge in my life. I would probably be a really different person if I had never discovered Alice in Wonderland. That seems to be the effect that Where the Wild Things Are and some of its brethren had on other people. It's just something I was thinking about today, the differences in reading experiences, I guess. I'm having a hard time kind of trying to form it into a single concept. Not very articulate today. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I don't really know how do I words. I hope everyone's having a fantastic week. I know some of you still have exams going on or coming up, and I hope that they are going well. Have a good week, everybody.